So, hey. Okay, so, okay. So, yeah, video. Hey, YouTube. Hey, okay. Let me see. Why do I have glasses on, right? Or what do I need? I don't even need the glasses. Okay, sorry. I wanted to talk about acting stuff. Uh, I was doing some writing. A little bit of poetry, and I added a page. I think I added a page to a story I'm writing, and just chatting with online friends, and I got some I got some I got a storage closet again because I'm trying to organize a bunch of stuff because I'm trying not to be a hoarder. I'm such a minimalist, it's ridiculous that I have to keep getting a storage closet to just put some stuff because I don't have any place to put anything. I have a 5x5 right now, and even that little 5x5, it's not even full, and I'm calling myself a hoarder when there's people who have like a house and a 10x10 storage closet, and no one has the balls to call them a hoarder. All right, anyway, I don't know. I'm not talking about that though. This is about acting. I want to talk about acting because I was thinking about I was watching some different free movies that YouTube has, and I was thinking about all these great performances that I've thought about, like Meryl Streep. She was like the queen of doing like you know great foreign accents. Meryl Streep was like she could like pull off any foreign accent and just win an Oscar for it because she was like so consistent about it. And I can do some accents, and I mean I tried to do some impersonations. Like I was trying at one point I was trying to do like impersonations of either different actors or characters that I hadn't played but that were interesting to me. And you do impersonations, it's always like a good little skit, a good little exercise to practice your you know um, mm, possibility, plausibility, believability, and sustainability in a character. So I but I want to focus on accents. I want to focus on accents because I was talking to somebody about theater, and they were like, "Well, how long could you hold an English accent?" And I'm like, "I can do an English accent, but it won't be consistently long. It won't be for a long. I mean, like that's the beauty of a director in a film. They can do it in takes or or when you're practicing for the stage, you practice and practice and practice that for many, many, rehearsals to where you can sustain it. But if you're just asking someone to improv an accent, you don't really have a guarantee of how long that actor can sustain the accent if that's not their natural accent. So, I mean, sometimes someone asked me, like, how long could you sustain an English accent? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how long. I mean, I can, what's there's various English dialects. I mean, English like from England accents. There's various ones. Like you have the Cockney, which is almost closer to like the Irish sounding thing, and then you have like the upper level, the royal Richie types in England who speak a different dialect of English. And then you have your sort of like your middle class or like, folk that they speak like the basic English accent. So I don't even know what accent I would pick. That's the same thing with Spain. Like a Cantonese accent isn't going to sound the same as the way a Spanish accent from Puerto Rico is going to sound. Or that's why if you saw that movie Spanglish, where was it Spanglish or I don't know. Anyway, so some movie the characters speak Spanish and they automatically assume she's from Mexico, and she's like, I'm not Mexican, I'm Colombian, you know. And oh, it was Clueless, yeah. And she's like, she got really offended because she's Colombian and she got called a Mexican, but because they both speak Spanish. Well, that can happen with English people too. Like if you say to someone who lives in London that I don't know. I might be wrong about the areas or the regions, but and my point is, it's area, it's regional, it's dialects are regional, and just because they speak the same language doesn't mean they speak it with the same accent, and that accent is a clue to where that character came from. So when you're asking an actor, to sustain a certain accent, um, you got to decide like what the character is even about before you ask about sustainability of an accent. And then it just really does take practice. And if there's a mistake or something that's, you have to have a good editor and a good director who can cut that shit out. You know what I'm saying? So, but I want to talk about some accents that I know that I can do. Like, because I was thinking about maybe being like an acting coach. I know, who the hell am I? Like, I've never even been in a movie, right? I mean, why should I be an acting coach? Because I'm really good at writing and criticizing acting because I don't have the look. You see, I don't have the look. Like it's funny that they put out recently the Barbie movie, and there were all kind of mixed reviews about it. I didn't write a review because I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it, but they talked about the Barbie movie, and I thought it was a really great idea. I've been a big fan of the Barbie doll, and I was kind of glad that they made the movie. But it's funny. I mean, to me, it's funny that it was a successful movie. I'm glad it was a successful movie, and I think it's funny because that's America. That is so America. I mean, it's like you have to have the look in Hollywood. You have to be a Barbie doll. I mean, if not, unless you're going to be playing the grandma, which maybe has like two lines in the movie, or an extra who no one's even going to notice, you might get a small role with hardly any lines. Then it doesn't really matter so much what you look like. But for the main roles, you got to be Barbie and Ken. I mean, that's all they want in the limelight. And so I thought it was hilarious that they made the Barbie movie. And I mean, when I was 17 years old, all I talked about was becoming an actress. That's all I ever talked about. I had no other aspirations after high school, except to become an actress. And then people were really disappointed in me because they all thought that I was just gonna, get on the bus, go to New York City and or California, wherever, I mean, because I didn't do it. And I know this is gonna sound like a real cop out, why I didn't do it. This is gonna sound like a real cop out. Why did I choose to do the office thing, and why did I go to college to become a teacher, and why did I work at any restaurant that, fast food restaurant that would hire me, and why didn't I pursue like more acting stuff when it was the one thing that I enjoyed the most? Well, I'll tell you. I'm not blaming anybody, first of all, but I'm going to say one thing that was a significant factor when I was young why I didn't go to New York City and pursue it. It's not like everyone thinks. It's not like, oh, well, you were just afraid of competition. Yeah, I was. I'm not gonna lie. I was afraid of competition, no doubt. I mean, I would have been this little small girl from Podunk, Florida, that and I mean, yeah, when I was 21, I looked pretty good, but I knew what some New York chicks and look, I knew what the competition was. So yeah, sure, I was afraid of competition, but that's not the reason I didn't go. I didn't go because financially, I was scared to death. I was scared to death financially. I had been prepped by my drama teachers in high school and in some classes that I had taken in college. I had been prepped. They told me about, you know, how hard it was for people to break in, people who were better than me, how hard it was for them. I mean, people who were just as talented, looked just as good or better, and they were still struggling just to get a gig. And they were saying, do you know how to waitress? My mom did. My mom was like the best waitress. I mean, that was like always her second job. That was her go-to job. If she needed some quick money, boom, she'd grab a waitress job. My mom. But me, I was like, I tried a couple places a couple times, and I was not going to make any money waitressing. Let's just put it that way. I mean, I'll get you your burger, you know what I'm saying? And I'll put your burger in a to go bag at the drive through window. But you're talking about like a serious restaurant, like, where they make real money. I'm not that good at it. I mean, I can't, I have really small, weak arms. My mom, she looked like a little toothpick, but she could hold a tray of like 6 plates with one hand up. I couldn't do that. I'm a klutz. And and then just like trying to remember who got what. I was like, I don't remember. I don't know who got what. I'm at the right table, right? So waitressing, it was there, and that's what you have to do, or that's what I was told I was going to have to do to wait for the gig that could help you. And I was just like, there's no way I'm going to make it in the Big Apple as a waitress. So that's why I didn't go. I didn't go because I knew I was going to suck as a waitress. And I didn't have any way to afford living there. Um, so I just didn't go. I chose a different route and went to college instead. Um, but I still was taking acting classes and I was still taking theater classes, and I ended up majoring in English because English has so many books and stories and plays, and I love theater. So I tried to stay as close to it as possible. Um, anyway, so I was thinking today about coaching, maybe new actors, or maybe just giving tips to old actors who are getting rusty or something, or running out of ideas. Maybe it's like Lysol, like when the air's getting kind of stale and you spray. See, Lysol is like coaching the air to be a little bit more fresh, right? Well, I could be like the Lysol coach, I could be like, like an acting coach. But here I'm going to show you that, like, for the friend of mine who was asking me about how long I can sustain an accent. I would like to do several accents for you. It was my performance of doing several accents that I can do. And I'm not going to tell you how long I can sustain these accents because honestly, I really don't know. But let's start with let's start with an English or British, right? We'll call it British accent. Now, if this sounds really bad, be merciful. I haven't been to England since 1995, so if it sounds really bad, I apologize. Here's my British accent. It would help actually if I read something. So I'll put the glasses on. That'll help me with my British accent. This letter is hereby addressed to Miss Norman, upon Elizabeth Avenue, Clearwater, Florida. Madam, we have received a request to cover health care services based on the information we received from your provider. We are pleased to tell you the service below are approved. Mm. English is a tough one because I'm so American. I'm so American, But okay, so we'll go to another English speaking accent that's a region of America, which is like what they call the Southern style. And they were sort of touching on Rachel Zegler's performance in the movie that I reviewed, saying she used a Southern accent in that movie. I thought it was kind of cute, but they were saying that they can't blame her for all of that because the director and the editor could have cut out some inconsistencies if they saw them. So it's not all on her. All right. Anyway, here we go. The Southern accent. So I'm just gonna pretend I'm from Georgia or something. Okay. So say, well, I was gonna go to Atlanta, but my mama said that it was real scary in that city and that I was gonna get lost. So I knew, I mean, it was going to cost me some money to take the bus just to even get there. And what if I got lost in the city? I mean, I don't, I always lived in a little small section, and and I've never been to Atlanta. And everyone's like, "Oh, well, you don't know anything. You're just from sticks, girl. You don't know anything." And I was like, "Well, I don't want to go to Atlanta, but I was just a little scared because I might get lost, and I don't know if I can handle that. I mean." I don't even know who I would ask, and where would I even go if I went to the city? I just don't even know. That's Southern. Um, all right, so let's see what other accent. That's covering English. Now we'll do like some Spanish. Okay. Now like or Latin. We'll call this section Latin because you have the French accent, the Italian accent, and then you have two different types of Spanish accents. Okay, so we'll call this part the Latin accents. Okay. Now if you're doing French, and I doubt I could sustain French for very long because I don't even I don't even know but a few phrases in French. But I love it. Oh my God. When someone pulls off a French accent, or if they have a natural French accent because they're from a French speaking country, oh my God. I think it sounds so good. I'm just like, don't stop talking. Just keep on. I used to feel that way about British accents. I'm just like, I don't care what they say, just keep talking. But now, I mean, like now when I hear French accents, I feel that way. I'm just like, yeah, we keep talking. I love it. Oh my God, it sounds so good. All right, but anyway, so like I'll try, okay? It's like I did one video a while back where I was reading a poem that I had translated into French, and it sounded really good. I don't know how I pulled it off, but if I was reading something like maybe Moliere actually in French, I'd probably be able to sustain it a lot longer because I'm just reading it, you know. But so okay, so let's pretend I'm from France. I was at the chateau, and my my sister was coming with me to see the baker had made some baguettes, and we wanted the fresh bread. So I brought this little churn of butter, a churn, right? You call it churn? Oh, so some say like the package of butter, right? And we went to put the butter to the so for we could have the butter on the baguettes, and oh, the baguettes were burnt, awfully burnt. And I said, I didn't want to waste my butter on the burnt baguette. So I said, I had to give the butter to the baker because I did not want the butter to go to waste. And the baguettes were already burnt. So we had nothing, no butter, no baguettes. We'd gone all this way to get to the baker's, and we had nothing. So that's like French accent. Okay. So then we have like Italian. Italian I love doing because I heard it my whole life. My mother was born in Italy, and so many of my family members had this accent, so it cracks me up. It kind of cracks me up when I hear it, especially when you're mixing it with so many. I mean, my family was so mixed, and I heard so many different accents, which was kind of cool. I was lucky like that. But Italians, they have a great accent too. Now you're probably thinking of like some gangster mobster Italian, like The Sopranos. But see, that's not really, you hear some of the older ones speaking Italian, but you're really not hearing when they're speaking English. They're not really using their Italian accent in like those movies or shows. They're mostly using a northern dialect of like a Jersey, New York type of mobster dialect. And when they speak Italian do you get to hear them have their Italian accent. So you're not really, it's rare to hear an Italian speaking person speaking English with their Italian accent. It's actually rare to hear that. Like Sophia Loren is a great example of someone who would speak English with an actual Italian accent, not like a Jersey or a New York accent. Um, I don't even know if I could do it. I mean, Sophia Loren does it perfectly. Well, you know what? Look up Sophia Loren, and she'll show you what English sounds like with an Italian accent. Because I don't even know if I can pull it off. because I know it's going to end up sounding, from me, it's going to end up sounding like a New Jersey, like Married to the Mob type of girl. So I don't want to pull it off. I think Sophia Loren's got the perfect sound to show you what that sounds like. Um, all right, who else? Oh, Spanish. Okay, I love doing Spanish, like especially when I do like what I call ghetto Spanish. I think it's hilarious because I think there's so many Spanish speaking countries. I mean, South America all speaks different dialects of Spanish. I mean, the Spanish you're going to hear in Peru isn't going to sound like the Spanish you're going to hear in Argentina, and the Spanish that you hear in Colombia isn't going to sound like the Spanish that you hear in Mexico. It's just, and then I mean, there's so many Spanish speaking countries, and they all sound different, and it's like I can never even tell. Honestly, I have no idea. When I hear Spanish, I know I go, boom, that's Spanish. I know it's Spanish, and I'm like I'm trying to like listen and catch every word I can because I studied some Spanish, so I'm like listening, ready to see if I know what's going on. But as far as the accents go, I am not an expert, and I cannot tell you by an accent where the Spanish speaker is from. Now, Spanish people who have traveled to the various Spanish speaking countries, of course, they're going to know. But okay, I'm gonna pretend that this is Mexican, I guess, but I don't even know if I'm right. So forgive me if I'm wrong on this. Just blame it on ignorance, okay? All right, so let's do Spanish. Ay, qué lindo. Oh, it's such a good looking chico. I dream about him. Oh, let me tell you. Oh my God. He put those jeans on and he fit in them so good. I was like, no, don't do that because nobody should look that good in a pair of jeans. Oh my God. It was like, oh. And then he was saying, "You want to go to the beach?" And I was like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna let him see me in a bathing suit. Are you crazy?" All right, so see, that cracks me up. that one cracks me up. Okay. All right. So then let's see. What else? What other accent could I do? Uh, oh yeah. There's I was privileged to be raised by a Yugoslavian grandmother. And so she taught me some. I know this is weird, right? She taught me some songs in Croatian, and she she spoke a combination of Italian, Croatian, and English. And so most of the time, she wouldn't really talk to other people, like English speaking people, because she knew that she would bust out with an Italian or a Croatian word at any minute. And only people from the family, like me and you know, my mother and her always talked in Italian. And me and my grandma spoke this sort of mixture of Croatian, um, Italian, and English. It was sort of like our own little language, kind of like Portuguese is a combination of French and Spanish. Well, we had Crow Italio English. I don't even know what the heck it was. But it was cool. We understood each other. Anyway, I can do her accent, and it sort of reminds. I always kind of call it like the Transylvania accent, even though like where the hell's Transylvania it has nothing to do with Croatian, or maybe it does. Hmm. I don't know. Do I know my European history? Not really. I've forgotten so much. I'm like a dingbat now. Blame it on the bipolar shit. But I liked it. I liked my grandma's thick Slavic accent. It was just really, just so, I don't know. It sounded so ancient to me. I just be like listening to her talk. I'm gonna do an impersonation with the accent. I'm gonna act like the way my grandmother acted when I was a kid. Okay, so I'm now going to become my grandmother. Shannon, Shannon, come here. It is very important I talk to you now because you not go across the street with no shoes like that? You, sir, come here. Yeah. When you put your shoes on, you must make sure you always have the right socks and you tie the lace like that good. It's not very slippery. And if you see trouble, you come home quick. Do not think this is foolishness. Uh, I watching my story this morning. I seen on the news, this morning, girl got beat up. You think you're gonna go out there, this little thing you are, and what? I gonna worry? I'm gonna worry, and my heart is going to be hurting me. And what you gonna do? I go to the hospital. I won't be able to make a sandwich for you for lunch. Anyway, so I'm cracking up. These are really good memories, very personal memories, and this is why I wanted to get into acting because I was blessed with a European family that just brought so much music and culture into my life and my childhood, and I didn't have to put my nose into the history books because my life was, my family was a history book. It was amazing. And if you're a thespian and or an aspiring actor and you just want to talk to someone about it, or you it's your dream, don't be like me. I mean, don't let the fear of financial doom like stop that dream, because I regret it that I didn't go to New York and try. Now I really do feel like it's way too late. But I would have sucked as a waitress. But don't let that, something like that, stop you. I could have found something else there. I didn't have to be a waitress. I mean, I don't know why I got that stupid idea stuck in my head. Somebody said that and I thought it was like the gospel. I didn't have to be a waitress. I could have found something else to do while I was looking for a gig. Anyway, I just want to say, acting is one of those things. It's like opera. That's I think that's why they called those shows soap operas. Because opera is one of those tastes. Some people they could not love it if they tried to. It's like a part of them. They love it so much, and then it's you know that's how acting is. You either love to act or you you got thrown into the mix somehow and you wanted nothing to do with it. But if you love it, you're always going to love it. And, you know, so if that's your dream, like, don't give up.